Good morning. The title of my talk is a little bit for cover-up for, I'm mostly going to talk about the utilization of an active volcano, a little bit less about operation of power plants. But anyway, Landsvirkjun operates 2 power plants in the north of Iceland. Krafla is the second one that was built there. The first one was Bjarnarflag, which was the first power plant, geothermal power plant in Iceland, built in 1969. Krafla and Bjarnarflag, they lie in the center of the northern volcanic zone, exactly in the middle of between the North American plate and the Eurasian plate. So it's a high activity area, and which gives us this high energy geothermal systems. And this Krafla system has been active for the past 200,000 years, and people realized very quickly that this was an area of high potential for geothermal utilization. So the government of Iceland decided in early year 1975 to build a 60 megawatt power plant at Krafla. But unfortunately, later in the year 1975, eruption started in Krafla, and the gas was injected into the system from the degassing of underground magma, and this changed a lot the properties of the fluid, and damaged a number of the wells. So only one of the turbines were installed to begin with, and this caused a lot of complications in operating the system. And this picture here is from a well number 4 in Krafla, where, due to acidic fluids originating from the eruption from the magma, caused the fluid to become very low in pH and corroding all the metal parts of the well, and they just rescued the drill rig in time from the well, and from this small crater, so to say, you had 200 liters of pH 1.8 fluid running. So this was very nasty environment. And here you can see the area. The Krafla plant is down there in the middle. You can see the red spot. That's a Krafla plant, and the black cover to the left side is the lava that ran from 1975 to 1984, and so the big crater there is an explosion crater from the 18th century. But during the Krafla fires, the construction of the plant and the operation of the plant was not infected much. My colleagues that were there at the time tell me that the plant was one of the world's biggest tilt meter, because the plant went up and down depending on movement of lava and how the earth was rising or subsidizing due to magma movement. But in general, even though the eruption was close by, this didn't have much effect on the operation. It has a lot of effect on the reservoir and the production properties of the fluid. But so still, because of shortage of steam to produce, the second turbine wasn't installed until 1998, or 20 years after they started the plant. So you had just a 30 megawatt turbine and all the equipment just waiting in the shelves to be installed 20 years later. But the Krafla plant now is a 60 megawatt, operating on 60 megawatt double flash plant with Mitsubishi turbines. But the biggest challenge from the beginning in Krafla is developing the deeper part of the system. We are close to reaching the finishing the potentials in the upper part of the system, but the lowest part of the system is very powerful. We have drilled many times into this system, where you have highly superheated dry steam, but most of these wells they have a very short lifetime, and they scale up, they corrode, and they are shut off really quickly or filled with concrete. But in 2008, drilling of the first well in the Icelandic deep drilling project started, and it was supposed to be 4 to 5 kilometers deep, but they intersected magma at 2.1 kilometer, and there were no obvious signals from seismicity or geophysics that said that you could find magma there, but so they didn't realize it right away that they were drilling into magma. But when they got glass cuttings to the surface, they realized that what was happening. But a liner was inserted to the lowest 130 meters of the well, so just covering few meters of production zone. But even still, the well was flow tested and without any certainty of would it flow and what kind of fluid would it give and so on. But it was one of the most powerful wells ever drilled in Krafla, and it's the hottest well ever drilled, I guess, anywhere, and theoretically capable of 30 to 40 megawatts, and the steam was highly superheated. And we operated the well, as I said, on 450 degrees, 138 bar at wellhead while it was flowing. And so just one well like that would be capable of producing electricity for 60,000 homes. But the steam is highly corrosive because of just a natural state of steam at this high temperature and pressure. But with experiments that we carried out, we managed to with wet scrubbing, clean the fluid, and that was not so challenging, not as much as we thought. So it was just a simple chemical processes, and we could produce very good steam. But this was a milestone, I guess, for the future plans for Krafla, because this was the first time we drilled into this deeper part of the system, the superheated part of the system only, and got steam that came to the surface with more than 100 degrees of superheat. So it was completely dry, and we could then just scrub the fluid at the surface. So, and this is where we believe that the origin of this acidic fluid is coming from, just right above magma, just few tens of meters, maybe few hundreds of meters above magma, where you're above 350, 400 degrees, and this has a lot of effects on how we design future wells in Krafla, and probably has an effect in many other locations where you have superheated steam. So if you look at this as a traditional well in Krafla, where you get a mixture of superheated steam in the lowest part of the well, and then you have a two-phase fluid in the upper part. And for 30, 40 years in Krafla, this was an issue that we didn't realize was causing these superheated wells to decline so fast. And because of mixing of those two fluids, you get corrosion, you get scaling, and so on. So their lifetime is really short. So the new concept is drilling wells like IDDB1 that just utilize the few hundred meters of the deepest part just right above magma, and treat the fluid at surface. So for the future plans of Krafla, this new learnings from these 40 years of development, and with this highly active volcano that has created an environment where you have liquid magma at maybe 2.1, maybe down some places down to 3 kilometers. gives a unique opportunity. You can produce from wells, that are flowing above 100 bars, 100 bars, and this, gives you the opportunity to do a different approach for the power plant design. And I think the last talk in this session is about what was it, the right process for it's choosing the right process for the right geothermal field, and I think here you have the opportunity to do some completely new design for this unique situation at a highly active volcano, where you have wells that can be up to 40, probably 50 megawatts if you have them flowing at a full force. So further work in Krafla will be focused on development of this kind of resource, but there are some technical challenges that we need to overcome, and we are working on with team at HS Orka and ISOR and others that are preparing to drill ITDP2. That will be a project that will start this summer. But we also are involved with international cooperation, both with engineering specialists, but also with volcanologists that have really high interest in studying this phenomenon further, because this is the only place in the world where you have liquid magma at a certain location, and you can drill into it. So in the picture there to the right, you see people next to the rock muffler from ITDP1. This is a team of leading volcanologists. We had a meeting at Krafla and created the Krafla magma drilling project. But next steps in Krafla is to drill further wells like this. But as I said, we have some engineering challenges we have to overcome. But we believe that the reservoir, the superheated reservoir, or the amount of rocks that can sustain superheated fluid, are on a scale to 4 to 8 cubic kilometers. So with the right drilling strategy and well design and the right power plant design, I think we have a unique opportunity to take the next step in geothermal development and to go into hotter zones than we have done before. Thank you.